Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Apostle. Let's get into the Housewives of Miami season 7, episode 9. So, tomorrow and Thursday, we get 2 episodes of Miami. So, I said, yeah, because they're going to Spain and for Alexis to get Alexis off her no good husband, and they going somewhere else. Um, Julia's friend and some other place. But that's what's going on tomorrow and Thursday. So let's get into episode 9 because I said, baby, I said this was a hot mess. A hot mess. But first I'll like, share, subscribe, and join the channel. But let's get down to the mess of the mess. First off, we got Adriana and Lisa. So Adriana took her dog to some dog place where her dog gonna get a one time of getting him some milk before he gets snip. So as they there, she talked to the person who owned the place and told him what was going on in the situation, that this is the last time around and stuff, so he can have his last moment in through a person mode. But they go off, the dog go do the business and whatever. So her and Lisa sit off at the side where her and Lisa end up talking about what happened on the boat and everything. Talk about what happened on the boat. Yeah, talk about what happened on the boat and everything. Whole Marisol situation and her and Marisol going back and forth, and then switched over to, we had Julia and Marisol out to lunch, and they were talking about the whole boat trip too. And Marisol acting like she's a victim, and she can't believe that how Adriana was acting. Adriana always picking on her. I said, girl, you starts the stuff with Adriana. I said, if you would have just said, all you had to say when Larson and Kiki called you was that, no, I don't want to be on the boat with her. That's all. Just put me on a boat with you, Larson. That's it. You didn't have to say a slick remark. You had to say nothing, but you always starting stuff. And then when Adriana get in that ass, you don't know how to react. So you feeling like a victim. Julia just fake. I said, Julia, you really have shown your colors this season. And it is really bad. And I don't know what to do with you. I said, girl, because I'm over you. I've been over you a long time ago. But she ended up showing how she truly feel. And she just couldn't believe that how Adriana was acting on the boat and stuff like that. And she know that Adriana hates that her and that she's been hanging out with Marisol and Alexis. And Marisol said, you like to be around the cool girls. I said, y'all not cool and y'all not fun either. Y'all are boring and stuck up. I said, please, Adriana, Kiki, Gertie and them are fun. I said, y'all are really boring. But, that's what's going on there. Apparently they wanted to do something for Alexis, and they planned on doing a trip. So they want to go to Spain, and they end up calling her up and told her about the trip to get her man off of her husband. And she said, yeah, it's gonna have to be around the time before his birthday come. I said, huh? And they both look alike. Okay, that's what we're trying to get her off of. And so she said she going on a trip and everything. So that's what's going on there. We're moving on to the next thing. So next up, we got Gertie. So Gertie is on the phone with Dr. Jackie. Yeah, so her and Dr. Jackie became very close and been cool for a couple of years, is what she said. And she ended up talked to her about the whole situation that's going on with her and the girls and the friendship and everything. And Jackie gave her some good input, telling her that she need to be. Jackie told her, she actually told her some good things about. She told her about herself. She said she's a great person, etc. She really told her gave Gertie a lot of good pointers about who Gertie really is. Gertie may be, I say I put it like this, Gertie may be a lot. She may be over the top. She may be very dramatic. She just as dramatic as they are. But Gertie has a good heart. And she's very kind, sweet, and everything else. But when you coming at her in a certain way, she's gonna come right back at you. And if you can dish it but can't take it, then you shouldn't be doing it because Gertie gonna give it to you. And Jackie gave her some more wisdom, telling her, just thank the haters. Because she said this friend group she feel like an outsider. And she feel all ganged up. So she really do need to look at it. You have your body is going through a lot of change since the breast cancer, and you relearning yourself, and you're just now clear, but you relearning you, but you thinking these ladies supposed to be your friend, and they isolate you, they treating you like you're less than a person, you know. Um, so she said she gonna change her mindset and try to move past the haters. So we move past that. We get into Stephanie. So Stephanie and her husband and Julia and Martinez they go on a double date. And Stephanie's husband you can tell he was a big, big fan of Martina. And so they had a little good time. So Julia invited Stephanie on the trip. Stephanie said she's taking her own private jet, and she invited Julia on there. Stephanie had an issue with Alexis, so Julia pulled her to the side. They went to the bar, and they talked it out, and she was very honest. I said Stephanie made it very clear, like, girl, I don't know how y'all can just let Alexis do what she want to do. She's a bully. She's straight up. I said, well, y'all don't call her out. Y'all just let her do what she want. I'm paraphrasing, but that went on and stuff like that. What else went on with them too? I know during the double date they talked about Julia and Martina boys and stuff like that. It was just good things. Let's see. Okay, so after that, we move on to Marisol. So Marisol has a little get together at the house, and Alexis get. Did Alexis get there? Yeah, Alexis got there first. So her and Alexis, she ended up. So apparently, Kiki messy ass then talked to Marisol and told Marisol something that Gertie told her. Gertie said that these women are this group feel to me like a cult. She ain't lied, because it does feel like a cult. It feel like there is a cult, and it's a certain way you have to act, and it's true. So Alexis felt taken back by that, but then Gertie ended up showing up right after they got into this little conversation they was having. So she brought Marisol this wine making set. It was really nice. And she gonna say that, oh, I heard she got that from Lawson. She would gift it to me. But Gertie came out and showed the receipts that she bought it off. She said, I got this off of Amazon. This wasn't a re-gift. I said she was being very genuine with you. And you being a straight up bitch, as you always is. But after that, she brought also the gift that the ladies didn't get at Gertie's celebration event. She brought them to give to the ladies. So as she sit down with Alexis, Marisol is Gertie. So Marisol brings up that Kiki told her that you said it was a cult, and Kiki said, yes, I did. I said, that's my girl. I said, I love Gertie. I mean, Gertie. Gertie said, yes, I did. Gertie, why? Yes, I did. And that's what it is. It is a code. It sure is a code. That's exactly what I said. And Alexa went, oh my God. Oh, that is offensive. How could you say that? I said, how couldn't she? How couldn't she? Because I said, y'all are, this is a code because y'all let a woman assault this woman with water and y'all didn't do nothing about it. Y'all didn't get offensive or anything. But when Gertie put some Texas up on the screen, oh, that was an insult. That was wrong. That was all. Oh, that's just beneath us. No, 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 no. You can't do that. You can't act like that. But yeah, that one went on. Then after that, all the other ladies ended up showing up. So everybody dressed up, looking. It was a preppy thing. Only person that well it was who didn't dress preppy. Larson wasn't preppy at all. I don't know what the hell she had on. She didn't dress preppy, and I want to say Lisa Preppy was more of Wednesday from the Adam family. It was more hers gave more that type of preppy, and it was cute. So after that, we ended up seeing Marisol and Adriana go to the side and had a little conversation. Marisol acting like she's the victim and everything else, saying, "Why you keep attacking me? What did I do to you? I'll never do anything to you. You know, we need to be the bigger person in this because it's other people in the group that got issues." And so they ended up squashing it and stuff like that. I said, "How long it's gonna last? Who knows?" Because Marisol don't know how to shut her mouth. She don't know how to say. She don't know how to not shut her mouth and not say anything stupid or negative towards Adriana. Because sometimes you don't have to say nothing. You don't have to say nothing at all. But Marisol don't know how to do that. But that went on. So they all ended up getting all together, go sit down at the little placement they had and with everything. And we ended up having a conversation where it went to I know that Gertie and what's her name? Julia ended up speaking, having a conversation with each other where, they talked it out. You know, for me, Julia was acting, she was acting like a Karen. She was acting like a Karen, like she was the one that was mostly she was the one that was hurt the most, that what Gertie did to her was more damaging than what she did to Gertie. It's like you threw water on this woman and stuff. So Gertie ended up apologizing, saying sorry, for the text message and stuff like that. Did Julia apologize? I really don't remember. I try to remember. Julia didn't. I don't know if she apologized or not. I don't remember. Because every time Gertie said, "I love you," she never said it back. She never said anything back when Gertie said, "I love you." Gertie still thinking you as a true friend, and you're not a friend of hers. After that, we ended up getting, I know it was Stephanie. So Stephanie ended up inviting a few girls on her plane. And a few girls are going to be on a plane going to Spain, but then Julia has a friend over there somewhere. I forget the place they said it was. They're gonna take Stephanie plane, all the girls, and they're gonna fly to there. Because it took like 3 hours to get there by, I want to say, was it by bus? It was by something, but they're gonna fly there. So that's what went on. So we get to Stephanie and Alexis. So Stephanie take Alexis to the side, and they get down to their issue where Alexis, they get down to the name calling. You a pit, and you a was it Chihuahua? The dog name they was doing, and it's when Stephanie called her out about being a bully and stuff like that, and they ended up working through it. While they trying to work through that, you got the other girls trying to see what's going on, what they talking about, which was annoying, and it was like y'all could have just been having fun and just chit chatting. Stop being childish. So, during the time they were sitting there talking, Stephanie ended up asking her if she wanted to be going to ride on the plane on her private jet with her to Spain or whatever, to Spain. And she like, because she like, I asked Marisol, and Marisol said she couldn't get on there if her best friend wasn't on there. And so, Alexa said no. I said, she didn't want to get on that plane anyway. So they went back outside, everybody sitting down. This is where it really get interesting, where Stephanie said, who was getting on there and whatever, but she still was deciding on the last person, deciding on who to come. And Kiki, Kiki, and Kiki gave up her spot. Kiki said, you can invite Adriana because you don't know Adriana. She said she don't know Adriana, so she didn't know if she should invite her on there. So Kiki gave up her spot on the private jet to go to Spain and stuff. So during that's when Adriana ended up saying she wished that Julia spoke up for her when it came to the whole plane ride thing. And Julia said that wasn't my place. I said that heifer gets on my nerves. That wasn't your place. She said, but Marisol did it for Alexis. That's the one thing I like about their friendship is they ride or die for each other regardless of anything. They don't always ride or die for one another. And she went, I wish you did the same thing for me. And Julia just looking like, it's still not my problem. But I said that's all that happened. Alexis ended up crying after that happened because it was just touching that, she just realized that Marisol has always been there for her and always been a ride or die friend for her, regardless of whatever she going through. And it was a little touchy somewhat, but I'm like, yeah. But the messy mess is gonna be starting Wednesday and Thursday, and I can't wait. But thank y'all for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe, and join the channel. It's your boy Paul, and I get back at y'all later. Bye, y'all.